How do you order food for the office these days? How do you make sure it's on time and as ordered? How can you get it individually packaged? How? EasyCater. When you order on EasyCater.com, the food comes as ordered and on time 98% of the time. And when there's a problem, which is practically never,
thank you for calling EasyCater.
you can reach someone in about 9 seconds. How do you order 24/7 from more than 80,000 restaurants? How? EasyCater. Order 24/7 on EasyCater.com.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the men's room.
And away we go. Welcome to show number 2,903. Along with Steve the Throw Hill, the Ted Smith, Robin Fox, and my cock, Montgomery, and the men's room. Hot tap today, Ryan Castle's hit drunken charges into sit and spin. Today, 10 songs that we would be offensive as hell in the current times. We review some men's room rules. Get ready to play Profile This. Plus headlines, men's room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite TV time with Ted. Clack. Drinking and drunk. All right, here we go to China, where a skyscraper that looks exactly like a penis puts on a huge fireworks display. We head on down to Australia, where a Dutch tourist sits on a crocodile's back before wishing it a good day. Scottsdale Mom of the Year leaves 4-year-old at home to hit the bars. A woman has 20-pound cyst removed from her belly that will leave some scars. And the thieves in Vermont soon to find out after a headache that all they stole was hemp. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right. We've all heard the term helicopter parents before. That, for a parent that hovers over their kid. Get it? Well, then last week we were introduced to the term lawnmower parents. Apparently that's a parent that mows down any obstacles for their kids. Well, guess what? There's 5 more very stupid and annoying terms for parenting styles, all of which we'll share with you a little bit later. But that said, on that list, there was no term for the parenting style of a 29-year-old mother in Scottsdale, Arizona. As Miles just pointed out, she left to go to the bar, which is no big deal, except that she left her 4-year-old daughter at home alone. Now, that sounds bad, but it's better than the parents whose baby was found crawling across the road in New Jersey. That's right, just crawling, just as cute as she could be, in the middle of the street during the middle of the day. That's bad. That's so bad that it's not cool in any generation. Like, no one's ever thought that was okay. See, like back in the day, kids could walk to school alone. You could stay home alone. You could play in the park alone. We have a list of things, believe it or not, that parents did as children but won't let their kids do now. Sometimes it's just safety. Sometimes it's the law. But the point is just this. Look, man, you know how you were raised. Maybe your parents were spectacular. Maybe they sucked. But the one thing they had in common is there's a couple of times that they really, really effed up. So think about today's standards. And here is today's question. Back in the day, why would CPS have talked to your parents?
Be part of the big show. Call 844-999-OLA. You can like The Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send your emails to themensroom@mensroomlive.com. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Over Joel's and away we go. Welcome to show number 2,903. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. This is a guaranteed future rate. Unbelievable. The drug in charge, Ryan Castle, will come in gentlemen, we will sit and spin today. We'll get 10 songs that would be offensive as hell right now. If they were released back in the day, they were popular songs. No one seemed to have a problem with those songs. However, as time goes on, like most things change. Society changes, hopefully for the better. And
I think you just pay attention. I mean, look, when you're growing up, man, you know, there's all these songs that come out with all the heavy sexual innuendo or racist stuff, whatever. But, like, if it's a popular song, you just kind of sing along.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And then you get older, look back and go, oh, my God. That was terrible.
Right, exactly.
I was thinking about incest.
It doesn't matter who the artist is. You can find one of those songs where you're like, Jesus, this is just crazy.
Right. How did I not know?
Right. I mean, and it doesn't matter who it is. Even if it's like, oh, God, it could be anybody. Elton John, all right? So you got Elton John.
Right.
Elton John had a song that was in the top 5 called Island Girl.
Yeah.
And the song was Island Girl, What You Wanna with the White Man's World. And it's this whole thing about basically, taking a woman from an island and making her your wife.
Yeah.
Here, come with me.
But everyone just saying, look,
brown sugar, all this stuff. Back in the day, it's just a little bit different.
Sure. 17 from Winger. People loved it. She's only 17. And somehow, in spite of all of us recognizing this was not okay, boy, it's a catchy tune.
I shot the sheriff.
Right.
Da, 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 da.
That's an upbeat song.
Cocaine. Right. She don't lie. I mean, come on. Well, I guess, hell, Buck Cherry had a song about cocaine, didn't they?
I like the cocaine. I like the cocaine.
Well,
there was nothing.
What do they like? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm fine with drug references. They're always there.
Yeah.
It's not like a now music problem.
No,
it's a music issue.
Sure. Just depends
on what
an issue. Well, it depends on what the drug is at the time, right? So, yeah. So, Ryan's got 10 songs that would be offensive as hell now in all the different varieties that they could possibly be offensive. Our men's room rules coming up. We'll review some of those and another round to profile this, and we'll drink and toast with the shot of the day. And today we're going to talk about parenting. And let's face it, as you get older, you realize that your parents, they're just regular people. You know, when you're a little kid, you look up to your mom, you look up to your dad, you think they know everything. They are your world. You assume they know best. You assume that they are the guiding influence in your life. Some do a much better job than others.
Yeah, but kids, listen, we don't know what we're doing. We make it up as we go along. And when you ask questions, we just come up with the first answer that comes to mind. Parenting.
And we do the best we possibly can.
Most days.
Some people's limitations, some people have limitations on what their best that they possibly can do is. And look, one thing's for sure, you can't pick your parents. You get what you get. And there was a story last week about a new term, as you said, called lawnmower parenting.
Can't pick anybody in those families.
I don't know where you get this.
You don't pick your kids either. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, here we are. We have to figure out a way to coexist.
I read it.
This is the long and short of the story.
Right. I mean, isn't that the whole thing about relatives, period?
Yeah.
Like, there's some of them, like, they didn't have the same last name. Would you still be hanging out with them?
My cousin sucks. I have a cousin who sucks as a human being, and no matter what I do, he's still my cousin.
There was a Daily Mail had an advice column. A woman wrote in. She's like, hey, man, I've got kids and everything, but I got to admit, one thing I always wanted was a daughter. And I finally have a daughter, and I hate her guts. Like, what do I do? Like, I can't stand this kid. It's a bastard child. Right? And then she goes into all these things about, and I'm reading this, and I'm like, okay, well, it sounds like, first of all, this kid might be Aspergerish to some degree, or just there's a detachment issue.
It's a kid.
There's all kinds of things involved.
Kids can be annoying. How hard is this to understand?
I hate her. Like, I can't stand her. I'm like, well, this is pretty typical of mom-daughter relationships, to some degree, but anyway.
That's like, right, man. I mean, look, sometimes your kids hate you, sometimes you hate your kids, whatever. It's freaking life.
And for what I can tell, it's easier, as I don't have children.
Yeah.
But just watching my friends go through the process, like, there's just periods of years where like, the kid's going to hate the parents.
And there's nothing you can do.
There's not much, it seems like, you can do about it.
Well, so lawnmower parenting, and that's where the parents mow down any and all obstacles for kids so they never have to struggle or deal with adversity themselves, which seems to me just like being someone who was brought up in a more affluent, wealthier environment.
Well, it's idiotic. I mean, look, you can do what you want when the kid lives under your roof, but the truth of parenting is this. Look, man, you lose every single frickin' battle that you fight with the kids, right? If you have to repeat yourself 1,000 times, like, it's a losing prospect. Yep. But the idea is, at some point, sadly, after they've left my home, but when they're like 25 years old and dealing with all the stuff you protected them from, well, now you can't help them, right? But at that point, you hope you've raised someone who finally, all that crap that you keep bashing into their heads, all of these things you tell them, at that point, it'll start to matter. But in the meantime, it's like, man, kids are going to be kids. But Christ, you can't protect them from any goddamn thing.
Yeah. So here are 5 parenting terms that you might not know, and see if any of these maybe apply to you.
I had not heard of any of these That said, I'm very glad because I hate stupid terms like this.
Tiger parent. A tiger parent is
eats their young.
That's
Tiger
where
parents,
you
like, very strict. You're going to get good grades.
Oh yeah,
right. Wasn't there a book called Tiger Mom?
Yeah.
All right. I didn't. You know what? Actually, when I read Tiger Parent, I kind of thought about Tiger Woods because it just seems like he's one of those guys that just worked his ass off since he's been 4 years old. Like his parents were on to his dad specifically was on him to like.
That's why you thought of it, not because his name is Tiger Woods.
Right, exactly.
When it's talking about Tiger Parenting.
Yeah, that's where you have really
that
high
had nothing to do with it.
Oh, I didn't realize after you get like elephant parenting. Oh, I get
What
it.
is that?
All these are named after some kind of
you say it and I'll try to guess. I got it wrong with you.
Tiger parenting, that's where you have high expectations and always prioritize things like studying and the extracurricular activities over any leisure time. So it's just work.
Chess club, student government,
piano, whatever, violin, tennis.
How high are your expectations for a kid, though? Like my expectations are that you don't piss in your bed and you flush the goddamn toilet when you're done. That you know to put your dish in the sink. Not that you're going to learn violin.
Well, that's why the Tiger Mom she caught a bunch of heat for when she wrote that book because she was like, well, this is just how we do it in my family and the kids.
Yeah, I don't care what she does, but I'm just like
right. But I'm saying like some people
got upset.
Yeah. Do you have any?
It's not your kid. Don't worry about it.
Do you have any doctors in your family?
One married in.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Me neither. And I think there's a reason for that. You know what I mean? Like
I had to think. I was like one married. Right. And we have two.
Okay.
Because my uncle by blood, my aunt, who's not related to me by blood, her dad's a doctor.
I read the Tiger Mom book. She's probably got some relatives. They got doctors.
Yeah, they got people with
You need a doctor to live for a Tiger Mom.
You gotta have that kind of parents.
Hey, those are the Tiger Moms.
I mean, seriously, don't they produce doctors?
Man, now I'm racking my brain. I'm trying to think if we got a Smith with a doctor and just period.
Anything like history.
I think
I'm a family. No, I can't think of one.
I got one.
I mean, no, you do.
Right. But what's funny about
is he a doctor, or is he like a doctor in something else?
So years ago, and he and my mother are very close. It is my father's brother, but they're very close. I don't know what they're arguing about, but anyway, she's pissed off. I'm a teenager, and she's like, your Uncle Ray, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right. And she's like, and he's always saying Dr. Ray. Like, if he introduces himself, like we would say, hey, man, this is Ray. And he always make it Dr. Hill. So whatever. That's just what he does. He's proud of his thing. So as he's going on about it, my mother says, he couldn't care an effing cold. He's a botanist.
Oh, okay.
All right. So and here's my thing, man. If you have a PhD, I know you're a doctor. Yeah, I get it. But for us laymen, for us normal people that did not spend all of our time in school, if you call yourself a doctor, and then you tell me you're a botanist, it's like, no, you're a scientist. I know you're not. And again, I just do it by this general rule of thumb. I understand that you're a doctor. But just so you understand how the average person thinks, if we are on a plane and the pilot says, hey, is there a doctor on board? Everyone on that plane assumes they're referring to a health emergency with a human being, not that somebody broke the stem on an orchid. Right? You would not jump out and say, I'm a doctor. I'd be like, you're a botanist.
Look, man.
It's not a plant.
You could be in the ball game, but people don't even judge doctors. They judge doctors based on body parts. Okay? So even if you're really a doctor.
Once you break, I'm a ear and nose specialist.
I'm a dentist. Oh, you're not a doctor. You're just a dentist. You know,
right.
Like you're an eye doctor? You're just an eye doctor. You know, like we specify like what parts are. It's seemingly they should be very important. But
They're all important.
But we don't give them the benefit of the doubt of being a doctor. Like if you're not in my chest area, you're not a doctor.
It's this simple.
What the hell's that?
You only consider them a doctor if in that situation it's an emergency. All right. So when I go get my eyes checked, it's like, man, you're just the eye doctor. If there is acid in my eyes, that same guy is now the doctor.
He's a doctor.
Yeah, it's the amount of emergency. So people are always going to think like cardiologist, brain, because things are bad generally if they're working.
Okay, my brain, right? You don't really check on things unless something has gone wrong.
So tiger parents produce doctors. Elephant parent. What's an elephant parent?
An keep the kid close. I don't know.
The opposite of a tiger parent. So you try not to yell or even raise your voice at them, and you encourage them no matter what. There's also something called a jellyfish parent, which is similar,
sting them,
but more extreme. What is the dolphin parent?
Dolphin parent.
Dolphin parent.
You tell them blow it out your blowhole?
It's kind of a halfway between a tiger and an elephant, I guess. This is so
that
stupid.
Makes sense.
You might have high expectations, but you take more of a balanced approach, and letting your kids have a little downtime is okay.
So in other words, you're like a tiger parent, but you respect the fact that the kid might want to play.
Here might be the worst, the attachment parent.
Is that somebody that's like best friends with their kids?
Nurturing and making sure your kids know they can trust you, and it usually involves co-sleeping, where your baby sleeps in the same room with you so you can quickly comfort them if they start crying. And the final one,
this sounds bad, but
is
like,
the free
when
range.
The kids were babies, once you get used to it and you understand what different cries are like, they're not in distress, they're just awake, right? Mm-hmm. So I would get up, go down the hall, and close their door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, look, I'm going back to sleep, dude, right? Like, you're fine.
I mean, look,
cry it out.
I remember being a teenager and babysitting, and I had always heard the theory, let him cry it out.
Yeah.
And then finally I called the guy, and he's like, well, how long's it been? I was like, it's been 3 hours. He's like, Jesus, man, go pick the kid up. Yeah. Like, I meant like a few minutes, not 3 hours. Like, he's been crying. Like,
how many times did you babysit?
Once.
It was, yeah, a handful of times.
This is an emergency situation.
Miles is right.
This is an emergency situation.
Right. I was that kind of kid. Like, you need a base hit, you want me. But I'm the last kid on the team to babysit.
Right. What did you think CPR was for a kid? Like, hold him upside down and shake him or something?
Yeah, like, I'm still not positive.
No,
that's not it.
That is not
Are we sure?
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
You never had to do CPR to a kid.
Oh, grab him by his ankles.
I've only Heimlicked adults.
And finally, there's the free range parent. It's all about independence and self-reliance. You're more likely to let your kid walk to school alone or go to a park by themselves. So it's more likely, it's more like being raised, they say, in the 80s than in 2018. So.
Doesn't that have to do with like I don't think my parents as freelance parents, they both worked.
Now, here's the difference. When we were growing up, it was called, hey, we need to pay bills, so our parents were. We didn't raise an idiot. Here's a key to the house, blah, 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 right? That's it. Yeah. Nobody worried about it. And I don't know when it happened or what has happened. But either every parent now believes their child is infinitely less responsible or dumber than they were as kids. But, like, if you let your kid play outside and you're not supervised, like, people might call the cops. There's a woman, somebody called the cops on her because her 8-year-old kid was out walking the dog in the neighborhood. It's not like she's in goddamn downtown Beirut, man. Like, she's in the neighborhood walking a sizable dog, right? Someone called the cops show up. Where do you live? Take her home, and like the mom's getting stolen by the cops. It's like, are you effing kidding me?
This is how crazy it was when I grew up. Honest to God, and Steve can relate to this. I had to cut the grass every single weekend. I had to do that before I could do anything. I had to edge, I had to rake, I had to sweep all the clippings off, basically like a pro job. You'd be like, this looks like crap. Don't do this. Don't blow the grass here. Do this. Break this up. Do this crap. Then I had to wash all the cars every week. We had 2 cars. So I had to wash both the cars inside and out. Every once in a while, I'd have to wax the cars. Now, when I was, my stepfather would buy me all the crap, like, this is your job, this is what you got to do, you got to earn your keep. So in the 6th grade, he sits me down, he's like, I'm 12, and he's like, you know what, you're not earning your keep around here. You got to get a job. And I'm like, I got to get a job? He's like, you need to get a job. And I'm like, all right, I'll go get a job. So I got a job, all right, and I kind of forgot about it, you know what I mean? And then every year, the Social Security Department, they send you...
What job do you get at 12 years old?
My first job that I got was selling...
Drug mule?
Selling Cokes at football games.
Oh, Cokes.
So college football games, I'd go, and I mean, like, these are heavy for a 12-year-old, by the way, like, and it was really antiquated trays, and they had straps to go around, so I had this big towel wrapped around my neck, you know what I mean? Like, and big,
hustling.
Big pins that said like $1 on it, you know what I mean? I'm jangling. I look like I'm working at a Fridays, but I got a big tray of Cokes. And I made $2 per tray of Cokes.
So how many Cokes are on a tray?
20.
You had to sell 20 Cokes and you get $2.
I get $2.
See, that's the beauty of child labor. Do you see how economically fantastic
so
that
like
is?
When I get that Social Security thing, I'm like, 1982. Why does my employment start when I'm like, God damn it, I was 12.
How did they not question that?
To me, that's CPS. That's when you call. It's not the guy. I mean, like, how can you bitch about my grades when I have a frickin' job and when I'm 12?
But you have a legal job. How did you
playing football?
How do you legally get it? Like,
I'm paying taxes.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm a 12-year-old paying frickin' taxes.
I've had a job at 12. Yeah. It's a summer gig. It's off the books, and you're mowing lawns and doing that.
Oh, that I had that too.
Hey, here's my Social Security card.
I'm getting a check cut. You know what I mean? But I got no checking account.
Right. I got a few personal checks. I never got a check.
But you got to remember, the university football games, they're used to free.
You know what? You got to remember, back in the day, man, you could walk.
We got to pay some of the kids.
You could walk into a bank and as a kid and not even have an account or an ID and just cash this check, and they go, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they would.
I mean, like, no problem, whatever.
He's too young to have ID. I mean, like, these are the things they said. Like, he's only 12. He doesn't have ID.
I'm working, but I mean, I don't have an ID.
Here you go, Jamal.
I don't have a wallet or a key or anything to prove who I am. But they made this check for me. Here you go, cash. And they go, okay.
If your name were Cassius Clay, they'd have handed it to you anyway.
Just give me the money.
Look, a little white Muhammad.
Would you like a sucker? Do you want a sucker? Do you want a sucker? So our question back in the day, why would CPS have talked to your parents? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Jack. Welcome to the men's room. Hola.
So, Jack, why would CPS have called to talk to your parents?
Well, first of all, back up just a little bit. When you guys are talking about how badass grandparents were about a week ago or so,
Yeah.
I talked to my mom about it. My grandfather, they used to be a cattle rancher, and a cougar came down to get one of the calves, and he went after and killed the cougar with a sledgehammer.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, let's get it done.
Was he singing Peter Gabriel at the time?
It must have been, but anyway, when we were kids, like my sister was probably 9, I was 8, parents used to give us money, and we'd ride our bikes about 2 miles to the convenience store there, pick them up a pack of cigarettes, and ride back home. No problem. No questions asked. Just hand over the whatever it was, probably 50 cents, 75 cents back then, and yeah.
Guy knew your dad. Guy knew your dad, I'm sure.
No, it was my mom.
Oh, your mom did, but he knew your mom.
But
and he knew what brand of cigarettes. Like
no, there's just
never
a convenience store that's kind of by the school. We don't know. They didn't know them personally or nothing like that. It's just
you just assume the children weren't smoking.
The only thing they would not sell me is and the same thing. My dad would send me in to buy him a pack of smokes. The guy never questioned. He just went in, pack of marriage. If you tried to buy any porn magazine, that was the one thing. You could buy medication. Yeah. You could buy booze for your parents, right? Or for yourself, because they just assumed it. You tried to buy that Playboy, it wasn't happening.
I thought about that when I smoked. My kid would go down the corner and was like, pick me up a pack of Marlboro Lights. Like, Dad, I can't. I was like, God damn it. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Back in the day, why would CPS have talked to your parents? 844-999-OLA. More of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Mom of a 8-year-old in suburban Chicago is railing against, quote, a crazy waste of resources that ended in what CBS Chicago describes as a legal nightmare. August 2nd, Corey Wyden's daughter took the family dog, Marshmallow, for a walk around their neighborhood. Shortly after the girl returned, Wyden found local police at her front door asking her how long her daughter had been out and how old she was. The cops, who'd been called by a neighbor concerned at spotting the child by herself, were satisfied with Wyden's answers, but a call was then also placed, not by the cops, to the Illinois Department of Child and Family Services.
Again, because her kid is walking the dog.
Yes. With the caller claiming that the child was younger than, say, 5 years old, and had been left unattended for 90 minutes and was playing in a parking lot. She was gone for 5, and I could see her through the yard. A 2-week-long probe ensued, and Wyden was forced to hire an attorney. The investigation found there was no child neglect. They found and noted in a statement that we don't control the calls that come into our hotline. Something made someone think there was a concern, and we don't know without checking it out. Wyden's story, which he posted on social media, has thrown new fuel onto the free-range parenting fire, they say. And Wyden says after she revealed what had happened, she heard from other mom-shame mothers who've gone through similar things. For something like this to happen to me, there's something really wrong, she tells the Chicago Tribune, adding she homeschools her daughter. I'm a joke with my friends because my kids are around me all the time anyway. Our question, back in the day, why would CPS have talked to your parents? 844-999-OLA.
Let's go to Portland. Hello, Allison. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, Hola.
Hola. What's going on in Portland, Allison?
Not much, really. I'm not really in with the news, so I wouldn't know.
Do you ever leave your house?
I take care of my friend's mom as a home health care worker, so I don't really leave very much.
Wait, why doesn't your friend take care of their own mom? I'm just saying, that seems like a crappy way to pass the buck. Yo, Miles, my mom is sick.
Hey, do you know something? With her. Wait, this is an honest, true statement. Top 5 butts I've ever seen in my life in downtown Portland. At least top 5. Had to be one of the top 5.
We're downtown or waterfront?
We're on the river.
I've never seen an ass like this in my life.
Derrieres of all time. As a matter of fact, I wish I had a picture. Just so I could show you and go like, look, this is not an exaggeration. I'm not trying to just be, I'm talking about butts on the radio. I'm talking about this butt was so unbelievable. It was amazing. I mean, it was insane. Like, she could just go up on stage and people would pay tickets and then she could just walk around for like 2 minutes.
She could just walk across the stage.
And the crowd would just lose it. They would go nuts.
It was a regular restaurant, though.
It was just a regular restaurant.
It was.
And
that was not a regular butt in that regular restaurant.
Oh, man, I still think about that. Anyway, back in the day, why would a CPS talk to your parents?
Well, when I still lived with my parents, they were really, protective. I wouldn't say protective. It was more like, I don't know how to put it. My brother Alex, he used to eat cereal after school every day. And my stepmom did not like that, to the point where they actually locked up the cereal and put locks on every single cupboard in the kitchen.
Wait, what was the evil stepmom's real problem with a kid eating cereal after school?
Cereal, what she said cereal is for the morning time. If you eat it all now, you're going to run out of it. The problem is we didn't eat cereal in the morning.
What did you eat in the morning?
Nothing.
Okay. So this was your regular schedule of how you ate, but stepmom couldn't deal with that.
Yeah, pretty much.
What happened to evil stepmom? Is she still around?
Oh, yeah, she's still around. She's living on her own with her 2 little dogs. They're not the greatest dogs.
So she's not with your she's not with your biological father anymore.
No, they had a violent divorce.
A violent divorce.
Were you still living with them when this went down, or was it after you moved out?
Oh, yeah, I was still living with them. It was to the point where I was like, there was a couple times where I felt like really down. You know, I wasn't in a very good place in my mental health. I actually tried to kill myself a couple times, but
oh, you sound good
that
now.
was just.
I like that you chuckle after you say it. I'm going to let you know. I tried to kill myself.
That didn't freak anybody out. I know that loves me. Okay, well, yeah, I guess.
How are you calling us from Portland if we're not on yet? See, we should be on there live. You're throwing the entire time continuum.
I have the radio.com app. I've had it for
Thanks.
Yours works.
I've been listening to you. I've been listening to you guys for as long as I've even know you guys have existed. It's actually one of my dreams to be on the show.
Oh, wonderful. I'm glad we made that happen.
Wait. You're telling me like this moment right now is one of the dreams was to be on this show?
Yes, absolutely.
Man, I feel like a letdown. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we should do more, you know, like, there you go.
You need to call KGON and tell them to put us online. See what we did there?
Now that's a dream come true, ladies and gentlemen.
You gotta apply for that job somehow.
That is how it's done. Well, thank you for the call, Al. It's a good one. Who says I tried to kill myself and giggles? I mean, it's just the way she said it, because it's kind of a downer, right? She said, I'm not in a good place. I get it. Your parents going through a divorce, and it's like, try to kill myself a couple times. Like,
for some people, it's just a natural break in it, right? Because you could just leave the statement, and then it just kind of hangs there. Or you just kind of nervously go, oh, right.
Yeah.
I feel like there should be a different thing. I get what you're saying. It's kind of a segue, but maybe I tried to kill myself a couple times. Sheboygan! I mean, something. You know, it's just, I don't know, the laugh, because, like, when you say that, man, it's not like humor's going through me so much. I know what you mean, but I just feel like there should be something different.
I know.
Yeah. I can do anything.
Back in the day, why would CPS have talked to your parents? 844-999-OLA. We got Ryan Castle, Drunk and Charge, coming into Sit and Spin today. We'll get 10 songs that would be offensive as hell now. So that's coming up with Ryan.
You know what we need to do for Sit and Spin, honestly, because we all understand how this works. We just get older, look back, and go, oh, my God, they were talking about... We should just find, 10 songs in the top 40 right now. I bet you we can find 10 that say, hey, 5 years from now, looking back...
They'll be offensive?
Well, I mean, look, we were joking about, the song called Cocaine.
Right.
I mean, Future has a whole chorus. It's just Molly Percocet, Molly Percocet.
Right.
Molly Percocet.
Right?
Okay.
I think I get what he's talking about.
That's my mother's maiden name, Molly Percocet.
Spin on the way. 10 songs that would be offensive as hell now. That's coming up with the Drunk and Charge of Ryan Castle.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, thanks, everyone. I have 2 announcements. First, we didn't use Easy Cater for this meeting, which is why the food never arrived. Also, and I just thought of this, effective immediately, everyone will be paid in wildly volatile cryptocurrency. You're all now billionaires. And now you're broke.
Bad ideas happen when there's no food for the meeting. So make sure it's on time and as ordered from more than 80,000 restaurants. Now, Easy Cater.
You're rich again. And now you're not.
Order 24/7 on EasyCater.com.